Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Emma and we're playing Dragon Age Inquisition. So, first order of business. Everyone look, she's back to normal. I guess my version of normal. And the tallies are in for the votes that we had about whether or not I should keep the green screen as my background. So a lot of you were pretty divided over it. Ultimately, the green screen went out, I think, to preserve the amount of game that you guys can see around me instead of having it even more blocked off by whatever I would have in my background without it. There was kind of a good compromise reached. The only sort of like tie, at least on YouTube as a platform, because I polled YouTube and Twitter and Facebook. I guess I didn't even think about doing it on Instagram, but you can't really do polls on Instagram. On Facebook and Twitter, it was like neck and neck for Facebook keeping the pink background and staying with the green screen, or on Twitter doing my cosplays and like gifts from the community background, because I have several things that y'all have given me and sent me or made for me, and I have those hung in my room right now, but you can't see them. So you would be able to see them if I took the green screen away and set it all back there. But those had like 9 and then like 9 votes on Twitter, 21 votes on Facebook. There were like 70 something votes on YouTube, and it was like 63 something like that percent green screen. So even if I just tallied all those votes up individually, green screen wins out. So yay for those of you who did green screen. Don't worry, those of you who wanted the cosplays and gifts from the community in the background, I'll do those for like vlogs and whatnot. So everybody will kind of get their way. I just happen to do more gaming stuff at the moment. Okay, so speaking of which, today's episode is Codex Entry Day. So for those of you who were settled up for gameplay, I apologize. Today is for Codex entries because we're behind. God, look at them all. Let's not do the tutorial ones because I don't care. We'll go from the bottom. So I'm going to try to be really good about not stepping on these, as in unintentionally flagging them before we're done. Oh my god, there's so many. Alright, who's the first one? 96. Notorious Raider Trash. You wouldn't know about my Raider friends, huh? What in the world would make a goody-goody like you poke your nose into such dirty business? Well, there's good Sir Tadius, of course. Some people say he runs the Armada. He doesn't. No one does. The Armada is a collection of ships, and each one is like a nation unto itself. Its own rules, its own people, its own leader. Tadius is respected, of course. You don't sink half a dozen Norwegian frigates without earning at least some respect. He's a dangerous man, but he's no king of the Armada. Anyone tells you that, they're lying or misinformed. Then, there's Lachlan Poole. Likes to sail around the southern cape of Ravane, rattling his saber and posturing like it means something. No one really cares what Lachlan Poole does, although only a fool will say that to his face. You see, the thing about Lachlan Poole is he's got gold. Lots of it. All earned through legitimate means, even. He still has a trading company somewhere in the Marches and hires people to run it while he plays adventurer on the high seas. The Armada lets him do it because it always pays to have friends with coin. The one you should really watch out for is Ianto. They call him the Talon, the Terror of Lamarin. But most often, that crooked bastard what might kill you in your sleep. Slavery, murder, torture, nothing's too much for Ianto. He'd traffic in souls if he discovered a way to extract them from people. In fact, I'm sure he has some Tevinter cronies working on that right this second. I'm sure there's coin to be made in stolen goods somewhere. Stolen souls, even. The Imperium, probably. Oh no! This was by Isabella, and I'm reading it like some garbage sailor boy. Self-proclaimed Queen of the Eastern Seas. Ugh. I almost want to go back through that and read that in her voice that's not her voice. But maybe I should pay attention to who's writing shit next time. Okay, 34. Oh. So this is sung by the bard Meriden Hadwell. So find me still searching for someone to lead me. Can you guide me to the revolt inside me? Promise surviving the breach. Promise surviving the breach in the sky. Templar igniting fire inside me. Make you remind me. Gone are the days of our peace. Now we reside in the great divide. No promise surviving the breach in the sky. Is this supposed to be by a mage? I think so. Okay, another. So are these the songs that are playing in the tavern and we're just getting the lyrics to them? I'm not going to sing them, my guys, because I'm not familiar with these. I only know, I know the Sarah song and I know the Enchanter song. And I love those. And of course, of course, now I'm going to run my mouth about it. I can't remember the name of it. The one that they sing in the camp. When we leave Haven. Spoilers. That one. Once we were here in our place, with our lives assured. Once we were not afraid of the dark. Once we sat in our kingdom with hope and pride. Once we ran through the fields with great strides. We held the fade and the demon's flight, so far from our children and from our lives. We held together the fragile sky to keep our way of life. I feel like I've heard this one. Once we raised up our chalice in victory. Once we sat in the light of our dreams. Once we were in our homeland with strength and might. Once we were not afraid of the night. I feel like I've heard her sing that one. I'm going to have to pay better attention. Yes, Empress of Fire in the reign of the lion. Eclipse in the eye of the empire of we are legions. Empress of fate, what season may come. We fight for the day you'll restore our heart and bring us to glory. We are forever in your graces. Yes, I know, but the door's closed. Can you all hear her? You should just come back and sit over here. I'm not going to get up. Empress of Fire, save us everyone. The nation reviles. The course is but run. An end has begun. Empress of Fire, believe in us all. Embrace us with arms and dress us with swords. And light up our hearts with blood so bold. We're forever in your graces. This is so much less poetic when I'm reading it aloud without music and without any idea of how the melody goes. Empress of Fire in the reign of the lion, eclipse in the eye of the imperfect legions. Empress of Fire, what season may come. We fight for the day, restore our heart, and bring us glory. All right. I'm not going to worry so much about those. We're through them already. Yeah. Okay. Who's reading it so I don't butcher it? Okay. Ferelden after the Blight. One need only stroll through the Denerim market to appreciate Ferelden's resilience. You would be hard-pressed to believe that Darkspawn ravaged the city within our own lifetime. Scars remain for the people who lived through it, but life moves forward. Now children play in the streets, children for whom the Blight is a story their parents tell. I once heard a small boy ask what a Darkspawn was. To him, it was only a word he heard from the older youths. We teach that a learned child is a blessing upon his parents and unto the Maker. Andraste, forgive me, but I felt joy at his smiling ignorance. King Alistair himself made this possible. His actions are thus a puzzle to me. Despite the events at Kirkwall, Ferelden continues to offer refuge to the rebel mages, which will only bring trouble to our doorstep. It already has. Rumors among the merchants suggest that Starkhaven places sanctions on trade as a sign of protest. Starkhaven, that's rude. One hears of conflict in the hinterlands between Templars and mages. Mother Diana says I am to accompany her to the conclave in Haven. She says to have faith in divine Justinia, and that whatever comes, we shall see the Maker's will done. I think of those smiling children who have not grown up with death and fear, and I pray it is so. A letter from Sister Kira of the Denerim Chantry to her sister in the Free Marches. Navarra. The fourth time I attempted to cross the border into Navarra from Orlais and was turned back by Chevalier. I decided to take the more roundabout path. a ship back to Ferelden, and then another to Navarra. The outcome was more than worth the trouble. The whole country is filled with artistry, from the statues of heroes that littered the streets and even the meanest villages to the glittering gold college of Magi in Cumberland. Perhaps nowhere is more astonishing than the vast necropolis outside Navarra city. Unlike most other followers of Andraste, the Navarrans do not burn their dead. Instead, they carefully preserve the bodies and seal them in elaborate tombs. Some of the wealthiest Navarrans begin construction of their own tombs whilst quite young, and these become incredible palaces, complete with gardens, bathhouses, ballrooms, utterly silent, kept only for the dead. From Pursuit of Knowledge, Travels of a Chantry Scholar by Brotherton TV. All right. Oh, we're done with that one too? Oh yeah, give me that magic. It's hard to tell which ones are new on this one. There you go. Oculara, a skull set up on a staff. These macabre artifacts cause magical shards in the area to glow with magical radiance when a viewer looks through the eyes of the skull. Yeah, that was pretty unnerving. Spirits and Demons. Who is this from? Just a dude? Okay. Or maybe a lady. I don't know. No, I guess it would be Magistrix if it was a lady. Spirits and Demons. When I first summoned her, she was a rose, unwithering, unchanging, and unthorned. A spirit of the purest love one knows, who never hated, coveted, or scorned. A second time I drew her across the veil, and shared a walk, a dance, a stolen kiss. With such a perfect beauty, pure and pale, no woman could compare, no man could resist. Then in my weakness I essayed a third, though magisters their warnings did impart. She broke my binding with a single word, and said this smiling as she clutched my heart. Though love I was, your passion's changing fire has forged the spirit into cruel desire. Sonnet 126, The Lover and His Spirit. I wonder if that's just sort of a cautionary tale that's not real to discourage people from trying to do these things. Because just because it's here and written in our annals doesn't mean that it's actually true, which is the really interesting part about this, because the Chantry is fraught. The Chantry, by extension, the circles, because circles are run by the Chantry, are fraught with such misinformation about magic in order to maintain that political power and hold on the mages. Okay. Vitar. After extensive study of the Canary specimens you kindly provided, I've come to the conclusion that the painted markings on their face and body are not, in fact, solely for ceremonial purpose, but provide a practical benefit. Oh, I'm certain there is some cultural significance to the patterns and colors they choose, but the Canary do nothing without purpose, yes? They call these markings Vitar, which in their tongue means poison armor. It's called this because the markings are magical in nature and actually harden their skin to an iron-like quality without hindering flexibility. Interesting. And my analysis says the paint consists largely of poison. It's mixed with something else, blood, perhaps their own, and that neutralizes the poison, but only for one with Canary physiology. Anyone else would perish almost instantly. Which reminds me, I'll kindly require another body slave. The process activates the magical qualities of the poison, which provides the protective effects, almost in the same manner that lyrium runes do. How this works, and whether it can be used for our purposes, will require further study. Perhaps some live specimens this time. From a letter written by Nemeria Oreganus, apprentice to Magister Varus, Dragon 932. Let's not be shitty to Venter. Slaves are bad. Yo, like. A Study of the Fifth Blight, Volume 1. While some of my contemporaries dispute whether the Fifth Blight was a true blight or merely a large darkspawn resurgence, isn't that kind of what a blight is? Historians agree that it began in the swamps of the Kokari Wilds on the southeastern border of Ferelden in the year 930 Dragon. So this is, I don't know what date it is currently, but the 932 must have been 2 years after the Blight as we experienced it in Dragon Age Origins. King Kaelin Theron was swift in responding to the threat, gathering the royal army, every Grey Warden in his country, and sending a call for aid to the Ferelden nobility. The assembled armies laid a trap in the ruins of Ostagar, hoping to crush the force before it reached civilization. But they failed. Darkspawn overran the defenders of Ostagar and decimated the king and his army. They continued their advance into Ferelden unopposed. Only 2 Grey Wardens managed to escape the slaughter. And somehow, they came into possession of ancient treaties, which compelled the races of men to join arms against the amassing horde. The surviving wardens made their way to Kinloch Hold, home of the Ferelden Circle, and conscripted the mages. Ooh, does it know what order I did shit in? In desperation to find more allies, the wardens journeyed into the Persilian forest, seeking the Dalish. The elves too joined the growing army. Into the deep roads the surviving wardens went, searching for Paragon Branca in hope she would settle the unrest in Orzammar and unite the dwarves in the battle against the archdemon. Branca could not be located, but another paragon was found. The legendary Caradin, I thought we found Branca, who forged a crown that ended all question of succession. Balin Adukin was crowned king of Orzammar, and the dwarven armies marched for the surface. Despite their successes, though, greater challenges were yet to come. From a study of the Fifth Blight by Sister Petrine. Is Petrine the one we don't like from Kirkwall? I don't remember. Oh no, a study of the Fifth Blight Volume 2. This one's short though. The Archdemon. Oh no, it's not. I apologize. The wardens sought Arl Eamon, uncle of the late King Kaelin, in the hopes of mustering troops from the Ferelden nobility. Upon arriving in Redcliffe, they learned that the Arl had fallen ill and was near death. His knights had gone in pursuit of the fabled Ashes of Andraste, Eamon's only hope for a cure. And the village surrounded the keep and was beset by a host of animated corpses. The wardens found and stopped the demon behind the undead before joining the search for Eamon's cure. I think this is a good recap. This is good for people who haven't played through Origins. Like, it would have been good for me to read the first time I played through this, because Inquisition was the first game that I started with. No one is certain if the wardens actually located the final resting place of Our Lady Andraste, but whatever they found saved the Earl of Redcliffe. Way to discount what we did. Upon his recovery, Eamon called for a landsmeet, and he and the wardens traveled to Denerim. Oops. Wrong button. They gathered lords and ladies of Ferelden, found Taran Logain guilty on a number of crimes, and sentenced him to execution. Furthermore, the landsmeet granted the throne to Alistair Theron, the lost son of Merrick. The nobility then pledged their own armies in the battle against the Blight. The archdemon clashed with the allied forces at the city of Denerim and was eventually slain, but at terrible cost. Much of the city lay in ruin. The warden who rallied the armies was named the Hero of Ferelden and accorded the highest honor. The Fifth Blight ended before most of Thedas knew it had begun, but it left a terrible wound on Ferelden. The losses suffered at Ostagar and Denerim greatly compromised the security of the kingdom. Southern Ferelden, from the Kokori Wilds to the edge of the Benon are, to this day, a wasteland. It's uncertain how far the ripples from this event shall travel, or what waves it has already stirred. From a study of the Fifth Blight by Sister Petrine. All right. I'm always paranoid I'm gonna, accidentally select one. All right. That had a star on it, and then by me selecting it, it goes away, and I wouldn't know. Stars are kind of hard to see on this one. I think we already did the Seekers. The Pentaghasts. Allow me to correct you on one important point, my friend. The Pentaghasts are Navarra. Without us... Oh, hold on. Who is saying this? Okay, it's a baroness. I can be sassy. Without us, the nation would either still be one of the motley city-states that comprise the Free Marches, or under Orlesian control. More likely the latter, as only Navarra's strength holds back the Empire's expansion. And by that I refer to the brilliance of Pentagast generals and the influence of Pentagast coin. I find it interesting that you mention dragon hunting as our only significant trait. You do understand, I hope, that dragons disappeared centuries ago, only recently returning at the beginning of this age. Some of our clan have taken up the old trade out of nostalgia, my cousin Ferdinand the most prominent among them, but those days are largely gone. Done, even. Today, there are 14 branches of the family, 18 if one counts our relations among the Van Markhams, each consisting of multiple families and twisting bloodlines connecting us to almost every major house across Thetis. I am fully aware that King Marcus wanes in health, and neither he nor Ferdinand have children. But make no mistake, there will be another Pentagast sitting on the Navarran throne, and that man or woman will lead us into a prosperous future. There will be no civil war. From a letter by Baroness Alia, Pentagast Dragon 938. Man, we're making some good headway. All right. Bruiser. Who's reading this? Ooh, that French name's going to be rough. Bruiser. A warrior wielding a great blade strikes terror into common soldiers, but to a chevalier, he is no greater danger than any other opponent. A skilled warrior is struck down by a maul or battle axe in one of 3 cases. In the first, he is taken unawares in the heat of battle. In the second, he cannot evade the blow because of the nature of the battlefield or his own injuries. And in the third and most common case, he is struck down because he reacts poorly. We do not train enough against two-handed weapons because we disdain them ourselves. I think this is a mistake, and in time to come, I hope it is corrected. They have seen too many skilled warriors die because they see a great maul coming down at them and raise a shield to block instead of deflect. I have seen men lose their composure due to fear or anger and engage such a warrior directly, thinking they can risk a blow to their body as they would from a light sword or a dagger. In the heat of battle, even the trained mind will think such things. Those who cannot overcome such thoughts die. You must watch the weapon, but only to gauge its length. Otherwise, as in all fights, the opponent's hips and shoulders will tell his intent. The great weapons are dangerous only when moving or poised overhead to strike down. You must give ground, but only against the true threat. If he advances, but is not truly prepared to strike, you must rush in, cut him, and withdraw to your guard before his blow is ready. It may take 10 cuts to kill him. Even after the 9th, he may cleave your head from your body if you do not respect the distance he can cover. If using such a weapon yourself, mark your distance and do not allow yourself to react to an opponent outside your reach. You cannot recover your guard as quickly as you can with a sword and shield. Keep your weapon moving and measure your blows. A stuttered step on your strike can fool many opponents into thinking you out of range and then rushing their defense. In this manner, you may kill most who stand against you. Fighting in such a manner, you may feel more like a butcher than a hero, but the living may console themselves, while the dead cannot. An excerpt from A Meditation upon the Use of Blades by Swordmaster Moshe de Jean-Min. I don't know if I said that right. Required reading at the Académie des Chevaliers. That one's a little easier. All right. Ooh, a fennec. Okay. My dearest and best father and lord, you are strong and fair and obviously the most handsome Earl in all of Ferelden. I want a fennec. Please, please, please get one for me. I saw a picture in a book that Brigid was carrying for Master Fergal, and is the fluffiest and most delightful creature I have ever seen. The book says they live in the mountains and eat voles and repulsive things like that. Voles are cute. When I get mine, I will feed it only nice things like cake and pearls, and it will die. You are a horrible child, and you do not deserve pets. Please, please, please send someone to catch one. I really need one right now. Ruby wants company. It's not my fault Premium Bauble broke. Don't believe anything Eileen says. Are those other animals? I really hope they're not. Please, I promise I will spend no more gold on silks this month. It's too cold anyway. Your most loving and obedient daughter, Habron. A note from Habron Bryland to her father, Leonis, Earl of Southreach. Reports indicate that Habron did receive a white fox as a gift from her father later that month. She promptly lost it down a well. You're a terrible human, and I hope you die a slow, painful death. We've read Foot Soldier. And I think we've read Pride Demon. shade, so ram. The ram is a marvelous creature. Its wool makes the best lining for winter coats this side of the mountains. The horns and bones can be crushed into powder and mixed with the soil for a healthy crop, or charred and ground into ink powder. The hide makes a good cover and a window against the winds. You can burn the dung in a pinch. Melt down its fat for candles. You haven't even mentioned the meat. With a full-grown ram, you can make a stew big enough for a village and have enough left over for a week. So there'll be no more complaining about being paid in sheep for your work during the harvest. With that ram and a few ewes, you can start your own flock. You're lucky to have them handed to you instead of needing to go and tame a wild one. Listen to your father for once. Take care of those animals and they'll take care of you. Letter from a Ferelden farmer to his son. Not wrong. All right. Last category, my friends. Blood Lotus. Do not try to get out of this. We were told... Who is this from? Oh, Chamberlain. All right. We were told you were the best. This is why you were contacted. Was it not you who obtained the 200 white blooming rose bushes for the Empress's winter ball last year? The Comtesse has been infinitely patient till now, but she doesn't understand why it is so hard to fill the garden pool. She wants no more excuses. And no, she will not compromise with the damn lotuses. The dawn lotuses. They're white. The flowers have to match the silk canopies. It is crucial. Dark purple, dark red. Do not try to frame this as a safety issue. The guests will be perfectly safe. Why? If they experience any hallucinations from the concentrations of lotus essence in the air, I'm certain it will only make the evening more thrilling. I don't care if you have to send someone to some Ferelden peatbog to get it all. Just do it. A note from Chamberlain Laurent to Grand Gardener Humbert Vauclin over the decorations for Comtesse d'Arnes' summer garden party. According to gossip in Valrio, the Chamberlain did succeed in convincing Grand Gardener Vauclin to provide 420 lotus plants. The party was considered by most to be a roaring success, even though the evening concluded with at least 12 guests asleep on the lawn, 3 in the pool, and 1 lady losing several teeth. Oh, trying to take a bite out of a marble statue of the Comtesse's father, which she was convinced was made of cake. Funny, but oh my god, those teeth though, you can't get those back. Embryum. Or, hold on, I don't know why it starts at the bottom if I'm at the bottom sometimes. Embryums are flowers from the orchid family. Its therapeutic qualities were actually discovered because of the embryum's exceptional beauty. The beloved daughter of Lord Ignace Poulenc of Orlais fell victim to a terrible sickness of the lungs, which her healers were unable to cure. Thinking the girl would soon perish, her parents surrounded her bed with brightly colored flowers, hoping that they would bring some warmth and cheer in her last days. Oddly enough, the girl began to recover from the illness and grew stronger each day. Her parents were baffled but overjoyed. The healers eventually learned that the fragrance of one of the flowers eased the child's breathing. The flower was an embryum and later became known as the salubrious embryum. The other variant that has certain magical properties is known as the dark embryum. An excerpt from the Botanical Compendium by Ines Arancia, botanist. One more. Crystal Grace. The flowers of the crystal grace plant are appreciated for their beauty as well as their medicinal value. Pale blue and shaped like delicate crystal bells, the flowers should almost tinkle in the breeze. In fact, I have heard a tale of an Orlesian lady who ordered crystal grace to be planted all over her bower, and then hired a mage from the White Spire to enchant them to do just that. Eventually, she grew tired of the chiming and set fire to her lawn in a fit of pique. That is some first world problems. Let us learn from this. These plants were created exactly as our maker intended. Oh my god. And our interference really improves them. An excerpt from the Botanical Compendium by Ines Arancia bonus. There. I like how they make it a religion thing. That's just... Alright, well, there's loot right here, so I'm gonna grab it. I did buy and sell last time, and I crafted this bow. No, not crafted. Put this bow on and changed her armor, as you can tell. So I did do all of my things to touch up. Why does her face look so funny like that? Oh, god damn it. Gotta hold the up trigger. No, I want to go... I want her face to load. There we go. It looks just fine right there. I wonder why it looks funny otherwise. All right. I think it's time to level up, isn't it? Yeah, it looks like it. So I'll take care of that. Ooh, I'm not even sure what's good for next time. We'll go back to the hinterlands. Should we go back to the hinterlands? I like to complete one area before I move on, but I don't know if the stuff that's going on near the cathedral, the temple, whatever the big building is in Haven, if we need to deal with that first. Like, are there parts that I need to touch on before we go back to the hinterlands? Because I know Solos had the dialogue about needing to go to Valriol, but I don't know if we necessarily need to do that yet. Maybe we fucking should. Let me know what you guys think, because I'm conflicted. If we don't deal with the Haven stuff too, that means we can't get to the mission table. And I don't know if I'm wasting time with stuff. So, give me your opinions, please. I appreciate it. Okay, guys. Thanks for bearing with me through the codex entry episode. It's been fun. I enjoy getting to read the lore, but I know it's not everyone's jam. So, thanks for those of you that hung around with me. Okay. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time.